Coming up next on Global Perspectives, we'll have a special guest from South Korea. Stay tuned. Welcome to Global Perspectives. I am your host, Gaston, and today we have a special guest from South Korea. Her name is Grace Kim. Grace, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having me on your TV show.
Thank you. It is an honor to have you. So tell me about you. Where are you from?
Okay. I came from South Korea and I was born and raised in Seoul, South Korea. South Korea is a peninsula in Asia, East Asia, and it borders now to North Korea and China and Russia. And it is around the size of Minnesota. And also we have 4 beautiful seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. Especially during the fall, spring, we have beautiful blue skies and beautiful clouds. So sometimes I miss those beautiful skies in South Korea. And so now after Korean War and South Korea, it has been divided to part, which North Korea and South Korea. So officially, Democratic People's of Republic Korea and officially the Republic of Korea for the South.
Yeah. And so the official language is Korean?
Yes. I was spoken Korean when I was growing up, and Korean is the only one language. Most 98% of population spoken in Korea.
Oh, wow. So growing up as a child, did you go to private schools or public schools?
I went to public elementary school and a private middle school, high school. But however, private school compared to today in American educational system is very different than in back that time in South Korea. So under educational system, before I attended middle school, high school, it was like everyone would try to apply for admission for most to elite private school. So South Korean thought it was not fair to every student. Also, it was favored to wealthy student, also whose family has a connection to something below, connection to wealthy background. So South Korean thought they need to change the educational system. So they put all the system in lottery system. Oh. So for middle school, high school with private and public school, they put it in the lottery system. So they would be assigned to a private school and public school by chance. So it could be a private school run by the South Korean government, and it could be a public school it could be private school run by the private system. So I got assigned to private middle school, high school, and all girls school, and it is affiliated with one of good women's college. It is named Seongshin Women's College.
Was it just all girls?
Yes, all
school?
girls schools.
Oh,
middle school,
bilingual
high school.
Or just Korean? Do you learn any other languages growing up in schools, or just Korean?
So 95% of majority South Koreans speaks Korean, but we are taught English in middle school, high school.
Okay.
Also, we are taught foreign language as an elective course for French and German German and also Chinese, Japanese by the elective course.
So how we do here in middle school and high school, so we offer elective classes or courses for other languages like French, Korean, Russian, and many other languages. That's awesome. Now, I would like for you to tell me about your school. You mentioned elementary school, middle school, and high school, correct? Mm-hmm. And how many years are for each grade level?
Mm-hmm. So we have 6, 3, 3, 4. So 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school, and 4 years college and university education. Yes.
Good. And so talking about college now, what did you study?
I studied education, and I attended one of big university in South Korea, and it is Department of Education. So I had teacher's internship and the senior year at my college, and also when I graduated, I got teacher's certificate for middle school, high school, which is a secondary school. So I was a high school teacher in all women's high school before I came to United States.
How many years did you teach?
I taught about 1.5 years.
Very short period, but I'm sure it was awesome, right? It was very special.
I love the my students in back that time. Yes.
That's good. That's good. So, when you were in South Korea, did you ever come to visit the United States as a visitor, just to come and sightseeing or visit some cities? Did you ever do that, or you never?
When I was growing up, and back that time, which middle of 20th centuries, South Korea was a poor country, and so it was not really traveled around or visit your relative friends in other country. But however, some of the Korean students came to United States for studying for advanced degree, or just a fewer number of South Koreans are able to visit their family members. So which was, my mom was very lucky. In 1985, she visited my uncle who, back the time, who lived in Montgomery County, Maryland. So after she visited United States, and she talked about how America's educational system and also equal opportunity and all possibilities. So she was the one kind of motivated me to go to United States.
All right. When did you arrive to the United States? When did you arrive?
It was 1984, and I was 23.
So very young. And now you have children. They are in college.
Yes. I have 2 beautiful children, and daughter and son. And my daughter, she works at Manhattan as a lawyer, and my son, he's in still college, which is medical school, and he'll be graduating this spring, May, and he'll be joining the residency program in July. So I'm very proud of my 2 kids.
I'm sure you are. That's great. Very nice. And so they grew up in the United States. They were born here in the United States, and they went to private schools or public schools? Or did they go to both?
Both of my daughter and son, they attended public school and private schools. Yes.
All right. So I look forward to meeting them someday. Now tell me, I know you do a lot of things for Anne Arundel County Public Schools. I would like for you to tell our audience about what is it that you do.
I work at Anne Arundel County as a bilingual facilitator under our public school system, and I do many things for our community and our Korean families and students. So as a bilingual facilitator, I promote our immigrant and especially language barriers family, also someone who are not able to access all the resources and all good information in our school system. So I try to connect the school, students, family to connect so they can access the all resource with the main school system. So parent and we can support them to students fully develop or fully access to their resources so they can achieve their dreams and their goals. Also, I try to bridge the gaps, different like cultural barriers between school and family. So with that, I do host many events like cultural event. So for example, like Lunar New Year's event and also full moon festivals and a lot of many cultural events and like with IB program, sometimes with the STEM program, and sometimes just I show up to many schools, dress up and share the cultures, and we do together for origami or share nice Korean food. Especially they love my South Korean homemade food like dumplings.
I had it before. They are good, very good.
Thank you.
Dumplings. When you go to events or when you have parent events for your for our Korean community, you mentioned that you talk about STEM and AVID and some other signature programs. Why do you think it's important for your community to learn about those programs?
I think many South Korean immigrants and their family students, I think they came to United States because they want to provide good opportunity with public education. So that's their main goal and dream and achievement. So many parents are interested in those academic programs, and we have wonderful program in our county like AVID, STEM,
yes, we do.
and IB program. So I try to share many programs as much as I can.
That's
so
wonderful.
They can access to all wonderful programs with our county.
Okay. Going back to the outreach events that you support, and I know you do a good job in organizing and planning these wonderful events. Lunar New Year, when do we celebrate the Lunar New Year?
Lunar New Year is based on the moon cycles. So it is the full moon. When it comes to quarter moon, half moon, full moon. So it is different every year based on moon cycling.
Okay.
So we had this year, I think full moon is around February. So mostly it falls middle of January to between end of February. Then in Korea, that's one of the biggest holiday. So they closed the school business for 1 week. And they visited family, and they go to family cemeteries, and they gather and play all the traditional games. So it's very different than here, the way we celebrate Lunar New Year's.
Good, good. I know in the past we have celebrated the Lunar New Year in our schools, and it has been an amazing experience. Get to know more about the Korean culture, but also about things that you traditionally do during the holiday. So it has been a great experience for me personally.
Thank you.
And now tell me about the Full Moon Festival. When is that?
So Full Moon Festival is around for harvest time. So I can say little similar to Thanksgiving, like giving thanks to, for harvest, but a little different. First, it comes every different months, and not different months, but different day, because based on moon cycling. Also, full moon festival is the, I guess, lunar year, and full moon festival we call Chuseok, and that's another biggest holiday. So again, almost school business closed to 4 to 5 days. So family gathering, and they shared nice traditional food, and also they bow, Korean bow to elders in showing respect. So they wearing all Korean traditional dress, which is beautiful. And so they talk about their grandparents, or they talk about the parents when they are young. Also, they play the Korean traditional games, and so it is kind of relaxed, and having good time together in family.
It's like a
holiday.
nice retreat.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. What else do you do when it comes to communication? You said that you assist. You are the bridge of communication between schools and families, but tell me about, let's say that the school is sending a message in English to the community. What is it that what ways do you relay the message in Korean? How do you do that?
So I think as a bilingual facilitator, one of my job is provide translation and interpretation, and provide resources. So when we have like a big county event, such as like magnet program, Asian American Magnet Night, something like that, then we make flyer in English and translate in all different languages. So I do my part for Koreans, and then also we send a corrected message. And also sometimes some Korean parents, I guess most of Asian American parents, they not good at all this technology, so we try to make sure maybe parent will miss the connect messages. So second try is like I sent text messaging using all present, and also I sent the email, and so make sure they got the message. Then many parents show up to our event.
That's great. So we have multiple ways of communicating with our Korean families. Important messages.
Yes.
So it could be via connected telephone system, text messaging,
and make phone calls,
and emails as well, and flyers in their language. That's really neat.
I think make phone calls is most effective way. We make sure when is the event and whether you're coming or not.
Good. It's always it's always nice to do a personal touch call, to say, hey, we're waiting for you, you're coming to our event, and we're looking forward to seeing you.
Not only for when I make phone call, it's not just only for invite to parent, also it's time for me to hear from parents. So they talk about, my kids has this issue, and they have this issue with the school, and grade is dropping, something like that. So that's the opportunity to get to know their parents, the current issue too.
That's when you make the special bond with families. Something else that I would like to ask you, there's so many questions I want to ask you, and I'm just so excited to have you join us today. So when you are reaching out to families, mostly in Korean, of course, can you tell us the response when you say, I am your bilingual facilitator? How do they take it? Do they perceive your message very welcoming, or do you think there's no trust immediately, or do you think there's a trust right away because you speak in their language?
I think most of parents respect me, because in South Korea, in our culture, teacher deserve respect. So they always respect, and they don't call our name, because in our culture, elderly people and older people, also teachers, professor, we don't call their name. Like we don't call Gaston, we call sir, like 님, 선생님 in Korean. So they always call like Grace 선생님. 선생님 means very respect. So they appreciate for reaching it out them, and also some people they know. Some of parents always call me. I have this almost every other day. But somehow some parents very shy, busy, and they hesitate to call me. So when I make phone call to them, their response is very happy. And then they say, we are so appreciate that our AACPS has had bilingual facilitator, so we can have you to get all this kind of necessary resource information, such as like that.
That's great. And so Grace is part of the team of Bilingual Facilitators, wonderful team that works in the school system. And we are here to serve you and serve our schools to improve communication between both families and community and our schools as well. And so she does a great job in outreaching and planning. Really enjoy, collaborating with you and whatever we can as a team. You are always a team player, and I appreciate that
Gaston.
Very much. How many families do you serve in the county? Because your position is for the entire county. You are in one school, but you cover the entire county when it comes to Korean families. About how many families
so
do you
I guess
serve?
It was used to be a large number,
Right.
and I think when Korean came to the United States, I think like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, it was mainly, it came to the Montgomery County and our Anne Arundel County, especially areas of Glenburnie. But now little different, I'm seeing little a bit of decreasing, but still good number, but not big number, good number, and very important numbers.
To keep you busy,
yes,
enough.
And also they are very important.
Yeah.
And to our systems, and so I guess around 220. So, however, when we see the history of immigration, I think Koreans' history is shorter than Japanese immigrant and Chinese immigrant. So still, they need a lot of liaison facilitators help. And even I'm seeing that some parents who are born here as a second generation, they speak perfect English. They have education from here, elementary to college, but somehow cultural difference. So they don't show up to school when their kids shared some kind of their problem, issue with the parent, and parents are very often hesitate to speak up because of cultural difference. In our country, when I was growing up in South Korea, like if a parent came to school and talk about, oh, my kids complained this, so I wanna have discussion this, and immediately it'll be like a troublemaker. So they later stay at home and not address issue to school. So most of the time when I contact parents, they shared with me. So I lay out those messages to counselor, PBW, and classroom teacher. So try to facilitate between school and teacher and families and students.
Awesome. And how is the participation from your parents when it comes to parent-teacher conferences and events? Do you see them respond to the invitation? Do they participate as expected?
Yeah, they. I think I am seeing some good number when we have a county conference and event, but most likely I have to make phone call to make sure they can come because they always say, oh, we have this, we're busy and things, That, so I'm the one who try to reach out them and make sure we have this event and please come, and they show
and they
up.
respond. That's great. That's great. Where are you homed? Like, where is your school? Or you homeschool?
My home school is Old Mill Middle School South, and which has a STEM program. So my boss, Gaston, assigned me my station at Old Mill South School, and because it has a STEM program with the South and IB program with the Middle School North,
Right.
and IB program with the high school. So I can get the good resource to share with the parent, also I can get most updated information. And so I think it is great school to be there.
Good. And I know there's some programs, parent programs, outreach programs coming up soon, so I look forward to having that part of our activities, and then we send invitation to our families, Korean families, so that we get to see them, and also for our Korean families to get to know other families from the same culture and country as well, and share information among them. So that makes our community stronger, and it makes it more special because we are very diverse in this county.
Yes,
and
it is.
It's a nice place to live, but also to work. And so
Yes,
it is always.
Yes.
Coming and collaborating together as a team, it makes us, a very special job. All the things that we do.
Yes.
Right?
So it's like I appreciate our HPS school system, having all different language of bilingual facilitator, so provide good service to parents to access to our system, and I appreciate that.
Yes, it is. It is awesome to have you and the rest of the team being part of our school system. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
I look forward to a second interview, maybe.
It's my pleasure to be here, Gaston.
Thank you. Before we go, I would like to leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, just do better. Until next time.
The Cafe at Maryland Hall is a collaborative venture between Anne Arundel County Public Schools and Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts. The culinary arts students of the Center of Applied Technology South not only prepare the wonderful food items, they also manage and staff the cafe. Patrons may enjoy a treat or a cup of coffee while also enjoying exhibits and performances from artists in the AACPS PVA program and local art community. This amazing collaborative partnership gives the community an opportunity to experience awesome food and customer service in a rich, artful atmosphere here in the community's Arts Center, our vibrant and exciting Maryland Hall.